Welcome to episode 3 of series 4 of our OR Talks podcast. Today we're joined by a special guest to discuss core financial efficiencies. Here are your hosts, Neil Seeger
and Mark Jovanovic.
So today we're very lucky to be joined by Jack. Jack is from Core Financial Efficiencies.
That's right, yeah. Just to introduce myself, I have been working with All My Brata for 9 years now, but we have an affiliated partner company which I run as.
So for those people that don't know what core financial efficiencies do, what sort of services do you offer?
So it's a multitude that we offer. We offer software integration services, which is essentially anything to your accounting package.
Okay.
We offer reporting services, which is mainly building reports for certain parts of your business. So it can be anything from just a simple report which you need just to see what your cash flow is from day to day, or it could be a full-on dashboard built with Power BI and stuff like that. And it's sort of anywhere in between. We're looking at, well, is there information coming out of one system, another system, can we make it all talk together and get some meaningful reports for your business?
I see. So it's sort of tying like different softwares together
Exactly.
and getting it all in one place.
Exactly. And there's a lot of softwares which it will automatically link between the two, but this is more of the softwares which are a bit more bespoke or just a bit odd, which working in accounts, we've seen a lot of odd softwares, and we're like, well, okay, so there's a bit of information in there, there's a bit of information in that one, we need them both together, let's get a spreadsheet. Well, spreadsheets, as lovely as they are, they're not the be-all and end-all. You really need something which it serves different users.
Yeah.
And that can be from your girl on the shop front to your MD up in Hong Kong or wherever it is.
Yeah. So it can be a bit more bespoke what you put together.
Exactly. So it's not an out-of-the-box product we offer. So there are some softwares that I work with, and I won't say enjoy because no one enjoys software, but some software that I'm very familiar with, some I'm not so. But it's about getting what we need out of them, and that's essentially what I look at in terms of the management report inside of what I do. I also offer services for internal financials, so when you're in a position where you're selling the company, for example, but you don't know what your balance sheet is, so you don't know what sort of multiple you can get on it. I'll offer services based on that, so just it's not management accounts, for example, and it's not something that you can go to your bank and say this is what I've got, but it gives you the idea. And that could be for selling a company, whether you're close to the audit threshold, see if you're there or not, or you are just in a growing position, you've lost control. Because it happens a lot, and it happens to small companies, it happens to big companies. I've seen it multiple times.
When you're growing fast, the last thing you think about is what the accounting side is saying. It's more,
exactly.
I need to get customers, I need to get stock, but then when you've got all the stock sat in the warehouse, and then you've got loads of customers, how do you then control the customers and the stock? How do you know what stock has gone to what customer and that links into that?
That's exactly it. So I worked with one of our clients who was a manufacturer, and they went from, it was in the COVID bubble actually, they went from 10 million turnover company to 55 million pretty much overnight. They had a finance team of 3 people, and that was an FD, someone who was reconciling the bank, someone who was putting on the purchase ledger. They increased their stock to a level which was unheard for them. They had to bring in a new system, and that linked lots of different systems. So we came in and we looked at it and said, well, actually, we need this, and this. You need to grow your finance team as well, because you're just falling behind. This is the kind of situations where you go, we're very close to our filing deadline, we haven't got a meaningful accounts for the last 12 months. These are the kind of things where these situations just arise because you're looking at so many different areas of your business. Your finance team is usually the last to be looked at, because everyone knows that finance actually costs money, because we're people. The income we generate is how we can find savings and how we can develop efficiencies. And those sort of things are where I've come in and I've had a look at these sort of things and can develop it. And it also sits on the back of another service we offer is interim financial, either FD, a financial controller, or a finance manager sort of position, because I've personally had the experience in it. I've got the ability to get other people in to fill these roles as well. If you're recruiting, for example, we know when you're recruiting an FD, you've got at least a 6-month gap between your old FD leaving and your new one starting if you haven't recruited them on the day that the FD resigns, you know. So you need someone in that gap. There are services out there which do provide interim FDs. We offer it too. And you also get all that other stuff which I talked about. So your system will get looked at, your processes will get looked at. So those are the sort of things that I offer. I hope that wasn't too much of a mouthful.
No, it's just breaking that down. And so if I've got a business and it has grown very quickly and I haven't got stock control, that's the sort of thing that you jump completely into.
Exactly, yeah. So and it's about. I don't necessarily recommend systems, but I will look at different systems to see if you're getting the best out of it, see if it's best for your business, because each system is designed for a different industry, essentially. You'll get some very good for one industry, like selling clothes, which is rubbish for a petrol station. I've worked with both. It's just about finding what works for your business and then making it work in terms of your reporting and then for the rest of your business as well.
Yeah, so if I'm running a very small, I'm a one-man band, let's just say, and let's just go back to my normal example of a heating engineer. Okay, so I go around, I'm basically a plumber, and I have, say, a big piece of software called Sage 200, because my mate next door, who runs a big factory, he has Sage 200, so he recommended it to me. That probably would be too big for something like that, and that's quite expensive. So it'd be an expensive tool for me to have. Where actually I'd probably need something a lot smaller, maybe an online software would work for me because I'm raising probably 2 invoices a day, and it's for very very straightforward products.
And that's exactly it. And there are a multitude of these little online softwares which suits your one-man bands, all the way up to your multi-million companies, which would. Yeah, so there's a piece of software out there for you. It's not all softwares work, and there's always going to be bits that you don't like about it. It doesn't matter which piece of software I'm working on. I'll tell you I hate it. and it is basically a case of you're looking at what can work best for most situations in your business. Not just it's got a brilliant stock module, nothing else.
Yeah.
If it's got a brilliant stock module and you want to keep that stock module, brilliant, but we'll get something else to your accounting, your CRM and everything else, because these things don't necessarily all work for your business, whereas there are different areas. That does add up in cost, but in terms of time saving, efficiencies, the thing that I hate most is when you've got someone getting information out of one system and then tapping it into another one. And they're tapping it into another one, and it infuriates me because that shouldn't happen, because you've got so many issues with that. It doesn't take any of us can do it. We're looking at typing on a key. You put an extra 0 on something, it can go crazy. It can go absolutely crazy, and when you're talking big numbers, it can go from 10,000 to 100,000 very very quickly. And then you can have multiple issues there. And it depends on the system how you fix it, but I've got good insight into many different types of system, and that's for where I've come from. I've worked with petrol stations, as I've said, I've worked with theatres, I've worked with pallet companies, I've worked with tractor companies, so I've seen quite a lot. I've even worked with double glazing firms, and not just a salesman as well.
So I think the crux of it is, because you've been an accountant, because you are an accountant and you've prepared the accounts and you've gone through different systems in different industries, you can actually apply different knowledge from one industry to another. It's not that's a tractor company and that's a pallet company. There are actually a lot of overlaps.
Oh yes, it certainly does. And I suppose from my point of view, yes, I've worked in accounts for a very long time. I think we're up to 17 years now. So I've seen pretty much everything that goes on in the accounts side of it. I'm very interested in the other side of businesses and seeing how it all talks to the accountant. To provide that extra bit of service, that's what means more to me. I like to get out there to see the clients to actually, help them and get them through their issues, whether it just be a little reporting one or something bigger. At the moment I'm working with a client who's got a very big VAT issue, and that we found that by looking through that system. You do your accounts, that's the only time you realise that can be 6-7 months down the line before you actually...
So from a system audit point of view, that's perfect, isn't it? So actually, because a lot of people will say to me, what's the point of having an annual health check on my software? Well, there's a very... And that's quite important, really, because it might only be £300, £400, £500 a month.
Yeah.
But you do that over 12 months, which is then over 2 years or 3 years, and it's not picked up.
Yeah. And software updates so rapidly, doesn't it? Especially
well,
at the moment with AI, that's the speed that's developing. That's phenomenal.
And AI can be your friend, it can be your foe. Very, very quickly. And you can utilise it in different ways. Your business can rely on certain parts of AI, certainly the automation side. Getting things in, it will make mistakes, but then a human makes mistakes as well. So you've got that balancing act. But it's also then reviewing how that all goes in, and as long as you've got the right person who knows how it goes in, then that saves them time, because they're not putting it in and then looking at it, seeing if it's all there.
They're not doing the data entry, they're doing interpretation.
Yeah. Exactly that.
Because then with quarterly reporting coming in, actually, so that's coming in, and there are a lot of people out there which are on manual still with their cash books. I had a client the other day who came in with their cash books and they're VAT registered, which you can get. But when the quarterly reporting comes in for self-employed people, then that's going to be quite difficult for them. If they have questions about softwares and actually, or they're trying to make their manual stock records, let's just say, let's go to manual stock records, they're doing quarterly reporting, that's going to be quite difficult for them to do. Would that be something that Core would?
Yeah, certainly. So there are softwares we can recommend out there which do that job for you, in terms of then you put it all in, and instead of writing it all down, you are putting it into a computer, which for some people that's a big step change. Will be there to support you along the way, and just make sure that you understand what you're doing, because we are seeing it a lot that the industry has changed. Well, go back many years when people were still using cash books.
Yeah.
Now it's spreadsheets, now it's software. The industry just changed in accountancy, and therefore for business, because you've got to have your own internal records.
Yeah. For me, what I'm getting from this is the advantage you can give to people is you've seen loads and loads of different systems in loads of different businesses. You can help advise people which one to use, and you're not affiliated to any particular software. You're going to say which one's best for them.
Exactly that. Yeah. I'm certainly not a specialist in any of them, but pardon the pun, I am a jack of all trades.
Jack the Jack of all trades.
That's the name for the podcast.
That's it. That's it. We've just got the new name. Forget Core. We'll rename it. But then so once you've seen it, and then the joy of it is once you look at the system, if somebody does require that FD side of things, that extra support, then you can offer that as well.
That's exactly it. So we don't just hang you out to dry. You say this is your software, ta-ra, like a lot of software companies do. Let's be honest, and keep you waiting on a support line for hours and hours and hours before they actually help you out, or a boss helps you out, let's be honest now. So it is that we do provide the aftercare service, in terms of we'll put something in for you, but we are only a phone call away.
And you follow the same sort of fundamentals as OR, really.
Exactly. And that's I've been working with On My Drive for 9 years now, so I know inside out how OR works, and the support I get from On My Director is second to none. Well, I'm on this podcast. That's something right there. It is a fantastic partnership to have, because if there's something I don't know, like VAT compliance, for example, or tax compliance, personal tax sort of stuff, there are people, certainly Mark on the personal side of it, and our VAT team, and if you want to talk to Neil's always here. even if you're not an on-address client, you can talk to us, and then that's where we can go.
That's the questions, yeah. And that's one of the things. It's not just for Alma-Rutter clients. It's actually for any clients, and because there are people out there, that listen to this that aren't clients of ours that actually will have those software questions, or actually think, well, actually I have got a stock business that I am writing down on my manual stock ledger. How do I computerise this? Because that's actually quite not a simple process. Just to go, well, that's stock in that book there, that's in that warehouse there, is going to go on that computer over there. It doesn't quite work. That's
it. And I'm a member of the Hereford and Worcester Chamber of Commerce as well. So I will be at many commerce events coming up in the next few months as well. So I'm more than happy to be reached out to there.
It's when they all turn up to you and call you the jack of all trades.
Well, I've been called a lot worse.
But I think Mark hit the nail on the head there of breaking down actually how the link works.
Yeah, it is. It's brilliant. Yeah, and the thing I'm getting from it is it's going to help people forward plan, which is one of my favourite
things. Your favourites on a t-shirt.
Again. No, exactly, and I can help many different stages of business. Whether you are just starting out and want to know what sort of software to put in to start managing it, whether you're more established but you've sort of not got a team to tell you what's going on. Or that really established business, which everything's going well, but they want that extra, and whether that is future planning, whether it is refining a process to make sure you get the most time saving out of it, because at the end of the day we all want that extra time back, and to make our work lives easier. Well, let's try and do that.
I think the other thing is, if I had a client not so long ago and they've actually grown from nothing, I think they're end up doing something like 25. I think they're forecast to do £25 million a quarter, and their biggest problem was they needed an FD in to put the systems in place before they recruited, and didn't want to rush and just recruit the wrong FD.
Correct.
So I think you have that window. Actually, we've got these orders. We now need to bring the finance team in. But what do we recruit? How do we recruit them? And that's where you'd step into that and say, well, actually, I know I'm only here for 6 months, but let's get the systems in place and then let's build the accounting. And we need, all these, because if you go and start up my heating and plumbing business again, you need a spanner and you need the tools. But actually, these are people that, the analogy of the tools is the finance team.
Exactly.
You step in as the person who selects the tools and guides through what we need to recruit.
That's it, because you can just end up not understanding your numbers, thinking you've got more money to take out than what you've got, without actually knowing anything about what your numbers are. These things can catch up with you.
And that's part of it. So the accountancy is, we come and see our accountant at the end of the year, we get our tax bill as you say, but actually because I'm too small to have an FD. That's how I get sometimes, and I have quarterly meetings with a lot of my clients because purely for that reason. But some people then, actually I don't need to pay an FD because I'm not big enough. Well, okay, but you can have somebody come in for a month to have a look at those things.
Yeah.
And that's more than just being an end of year accountant. That's stepping in. Actually, I don't want to pay somebody 12 months salary to come in and have a look at my FD stuff, but actually.
And that's the thing, we offer FD services, but we also offer financial control, which is just that step lower, or finance manager level. So you get more than just your management accounts. You get someone who will look into the numbers for you. It just depends on your size of organisation, what you actually need, and we'll tailor our price to suit that.
Perfect. I actually haven't got any more questions.
No, I found it really interesting, and I've learned a lot.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers.
If you do have any questions for Jack, go on, Mark, what's the number?
Please get in touch on 01905 777 600.
You can WhatsApp that number as well.
Yes.
Well, thank you for coming on, Jack. We really appreciate it.
Well, thanks for joining us. Hope you found that interesting. If you have got any queries, please get in touch and we can pass them on to Jack for you.
Absolutely, or contact either of us as well.
Yeah. Until next time, thanks for joining.
Thank you.